Hello one and all, and welcome back to the Chelsea FC Say the Move Frew Ball FM. It's episode 26 and we've got two crucial games, one in the Premier League against Manchester City and one in the Europa League against Lyon. Let's get into it. Right then, so after our second leg game against Tottenham in the Europa League, second knockout round, we played Crystal Palace in the FA Cup and Burnley and Bournemouth in the Premier League. The Crystal Palace game was, we were poor in the first half. We didn't create anything. We deserved to be 1-0 down at half time. But we came out the second half, we were much better. Jadon Rivaldo on goal, Denis Suarez and Tammy Abraham with the goals. Pretty straightforward really in the end, but it was a bit of a struggle to begin with. The Burnley game we really did struggle again in. It's this formation that Burnley were playing. If I have a look at Burnley formation, it's this 4-1-4-1 formation that we seem to be really struggling against. We have a lot of shots and things, but a lot of them are from, if you look at the match stats, a lot of them are from range, and we don't get many on target. We have a lot of the ball, we just can't seem to create anything. So, I mean, we did create some chances. You can see a lot of key passes there, and 2 chances created, 3 and 1 for Hazard as well from Fekir. So it's not like we aren't creating chances. We just can't seem to break this formation down. Then we played an away game against Bournemouth, which wasn't straightforward at all. We were 2-0 up, cruising, and then Callum Wilson, who always seems to score past me on Football Manager, scored again. And then we went 3-1 up when Nabil Fekir in the 58th minute, who's just having a fabulous season. I think he's wanted by Real Madrid at the minute, which shows how good of a season he's having. Eden Hazard on his return from injury, as you can see, he's got 3 goals in 2 games, which is fab. But yeah, we ended up winning this one fairly comfortably in the end. So today then we play Manchester City in the Premier League, who have just dropped right off. I mean, I showed you in one of the videos before the poor run that they've been on. They've just continued that form really. They've been absolutely shocking, and now they've dropped out of the top 4. So we play Manchester City in the Premier League. Hopefully we can pick up a positive result there. And then we play Lyon in the first leg of the Europa League quarter final. Right then, so just before we get started, I'll show you the Premier League table. We're 5 points ahead of Tottenham with 6 games to go. Really, we should be sealing the Premier League title at this point. But we've got 2 really difficult games coming up. One of them is Manchester City away, and the other one is Arsenal away. Never easy games, those 2 teams away from home. So that 5-point lead could quickly evaporate against Tottenham, obviously provided they don't slip up at any point. So this is the team we're going to go with against Manchester City today. Thibaut Courtois in goal. We're going to have to play David Zappacosta right back because of the injury to Cesar Azpilicueta. We've got Deleton Christensen as that centre back pairing, which has been for most of the season and has been really good. Kieran Tierney is the left back. We've got Jorginho in his usual role along with Kante, and we're going with Barkley because Fekir's had to be moved up to a false 9 role because of an injury to Alvaro Morata, and I just don't trust Tammy Abraham, and I'm conscious of giving Fernando Torres another year on his contract, being on 72 grand. So and then on the inside forward role on attack is Eden Hazard, still making his return from injury. You can see he's up to full fitness now, so he should be able to put in some sterling performances. And we've got Willian on the right hand side in his usual role. Let's do it. Okay then, so Manchester City are lining up with the same formation as we are. They've got quite a few new names in there. Jack Wilshere's an interesting one in the centre of midfield. Let's see if we can win that midfield battle with Kante and Barkley as opposed to Kevin De Bruyne and Jack Wilshere. But yeah, it's Kevin De Bruyne, Jack Wilshere and Ilkay Gundogan in the midfield, with Djibril Sidibe at left back, who's naturally a right back, I do believe. So that's interesting as well. And then Otamendi, Stones and Walker, Bernardo Silva, Brandt and Icardi. It's still a very strong lineup, but there's no Leroy Sané, who's on the bench today. There's no Vincent Kompany, who's also on the bench. There's no David Silva. I mean, he might be getting on a little bit now. He's on the bench as well. So it looks like Manchester City are not altogether that strong, and they've been on a poor run of form, so hopefully we can put them to the sword. Right then, let's get into this big game as the 2 teams walk out, and the Etihad Stadium looks pretty good actually on Football Manager 2018 as Walker brings it out from the back at the start. So we've got our first highlight after 2 minutes, and Kevin De Bruyne puts the free kick over the bar. Manchester City dominating the ball, so we might have to change things up a little bit. You see they're up to almost 70% possession. We just must not be keeping the ball. We have got an opportunity here, it would seem. Is Jorginho? Oof, that was a tackle from behind, surely. On Jorginho there. Tierney, Kante. N'Golo Kante to Willian! Saved by Ederson, and it's a corner for Chelsea. There's a good chance that for Willian should have stuck it away. Really, I'd take a draw in this game definitely. Even though Manchester City have been on a poor run of form, I still think a draw away at the Etihad's a good result. Really, we have brought back possession. We're clawing it back, and it's actually swung in our favour now after a strong start from Man City. So he's Tierney with the ball, with the throw in. Back to him from Jorginho. He comes inside. He's Fekir dropping deep into that false 9 role. Zappacosta coming forward with it now. Jorginho, Barkley, Fekir. Through for Hazard. Can he square it across? He can. Otamendi's there and headed away by Brandt. It's going to be picked up by Zappacosta though. Jorginho. Delete. Out for Kante. Willian, and he scored. Willian just drifted inside. The defence didn't pick him up. No challenges came in. N'Golo Kante with the pass, with a good assist. You see Jorginho just knocks it to Delete. Delete finds Kante in that Mazzala space, drifting wide. In for Willian, who comes inside, and there's nothing that the defender could do there. It's Otamendi there, I think the number 30. So 1-0 to Chelsea. So then at 38 minutes in, we've got another highlight. Otamendi back to Ederson, who just absolutely belted up the pitch for Icardi. Christensen heads it away confidently. Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva. Chip to the back post for Icardi, and it's 1-1. It's a good goal by Manchester City. It was well worked. Bernardo Silva just drifting out to that right hand side. Bit disappointed that he was allowed to get the cross in really by Tierney, but it was a good pass from De Bruyne as he made the run inside Tierney. Chipped it in on his right foot. There's Icardi at the back post, and it's 1-1. Manchester City just seemed to be coming into the game a little bit more just before half time. They are looking fairly tired though, so if we can exploit any tiredness in the centre of the midfield, that would be grand. So we've gone in for half time at 1-1. It's quite evenly poised at the minute. It could go either way at this point, it would seem. So we've actually had more possession than Manchester City, which is a good feat in itself. So we've got our first highlight of the second half. It's 2 minutes into the second half. Julian Brandt loses out, and it's a very poor pass. We've got loads of space. Acres for Kante and Willian on the right hand side. Can Hazard find one of them? He's found Otamendi with the cross, and that's a woeful mistake. And N'Golo Kante pounces. What has happened there in the Manchester City defence? I think this is just typical of what's been happening to Manchester City. They've just been incredibly wasteful, and you know they just haven't been able to put teams away. And this is probably why, with passes like that, I mean, it was a poor ball to begin with. But what Otamendi's doing, I don't know. Kante capitalises 2-1. So see, Kante's playing an absolute blinder on an 8.9 with an assist and a goal. He seems to be running the midfield out there, and Jack Wilshere's not having a good time of it, getting absolutely dominated in there by N'Golo Kante, it would seem. So I'm pleased with that. Julian Brandt on a 5.9. He's been taken off, and on comes Sane. We've got another assist. I was just about to make some changes there, but we have got another highlight. Fekir just blasts it from way out. We will make some changes now. I think 66 minutes in, just get some fresh legs on the middle. I think we'll bring Cesc Fabregas on and just move him back to a support role rather than an attack. And that's the only change we'll make for now. So 75 minutes in, it's actually just come at the bottom. There's been a dominating performance from N'Golo Kante, and you know it's hard to argue with that on a 9 rating, and he's just totally taken the Manchester City midfield out of things. Yeah, it's 86 minutes gone. I'm just going to make a few changes to try and shore this win up. Obviously, Jorginho's looking really tight, so we'll get David Luiz on for some fresh legs in the middle. I'm going to actually get Fekir off Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who can fill in that false 9 role quite well. It's going to tell the team to tighten up as we approach full time, and it looks like we are going to see this out as Sidibe throws it in, and that's it. Kante was on top form. It was an excellent dominating performance. We have picked up a massive result here. This is a massive result, boys. I'm so happy with this 2-1 against Manchester City. I'm absolutely ecstatic. So we have actually qualified for the Champions League next season with 5 games to go, which I'm quite pleased about. I mean, we've had a good season, no matter what happens really. You can see Courtois and Hazard are now happy to stay at Chelsea, so the board have set the initial budgets. What do we think? We've hardly spent anything this season, so I mean, we've spent quite a bit on Jorginho and a little bit on Denis Suarez, but I'm going to say 80 million. 80 million. Oh, 124 million. Oh, that is lovely. £124 million transfer budget. That is fantastic. £4.2 million wage budget, which I think is about 700 grand more than we've got now. Just have a look. I think we're on about 3.5 million. Just have a look at our finances. Yeah, we're currently spending 3.5 and committed spending 3.1. So next season's wage budget 4.2. £124 million transfer budget. That is magnificent. Something you may have noticed on the finances screen is that we're actually projected to fail English Premier Division financial fair play wage rise regulations just down here. I think the only punishment for that is a fine, but I could be wrong and we could get docked points. So, I mean, if anybody does know, let me know. But I think it is simply just getting a fine of the percentage of how much your wages have risen by or something like that, which kind of doesn't make sense because then you throw more money at a problem. You know, it doesn't matter really. I think it is going to be a fine. Right, so I am going to leave you now. We'll be back for the first leg of the Europa League quarter final against Lyon in just a jiffy. Oh, Tottenham got beat. That's shuffling hell, like. We are back to the Lyon game, but just before we get into that, I just want to draw your attention to this bit of news telling us that the title race is heading to the wire. There's 5 games left. We're 8 points ahead because Tottenham actually lost the last game last time out against Wolves at home. So that was a real shock result and has put Tottenham in a really difficult position now to sort of overturn this with 15 points to play for, and we're 8 ahead. It's going to be difficult now for Tottenham to overturn that. So as you can see, these are our run-ins. We've got Everton away, they've got Liverpool away, so both tough games for us both. Everton are actually up in 4th, so it looks like a tougher prospect for us to get points at Everton than it does for Tottenham to get points at Liverpool, but still 2 very tough games for both sides. Then we've both got home bankers really against Reading and West Brom. Then we play another very difficult game against Arsenal away from home, which I'm quite concerned about. You know, I'd probably take a draw from that, get a point on the board. And then Tottenham have got Hull away, which should be another banker really for them. Huddersfield, we've got then got Huddersfield at home, which should be a home banker for us absolutely. Then Tottenham have got Manchester United, which is always a difficult game, home or away. So hopefully Manchester United can take some points from Tottenham. And then we've got Southampton. We've both got relatively easy on paper away games to end the season. So interesting title race, but I think we shouldn't be messing up from here. We should have this title wrapped up. If we take 6 points from Everton and Reading, I can't see any way back for Tottenham after that. So let's get into the game against Lyon. Jesus Christ. This is the team we're going to go with against Lyon then. We've got Courtois in goal, Zappacosta at right back, our Europa League pairing of Zuma and David Luiz in centre back, Tierney in left back because Emerson's unregistered, Jorginho, Kante and Loftus-Cheek in the advanced playmaker role, Willian, Denis Suarez and Fernando Torres as the attacking 3. Obviously Fernando Torres will just change Suarez back to sport, but obviously Fernando Torres got loads of goals in the Europa League. Hopefully he can continue that. Same with Ruben Loftus-Cheek really as well. So let's get into the game and see what we can do against Lyon at home. I'm hoping for a good few goals here to put us ahead for the second leg. So they're going with the classic football manager formation 4-2-3-1 with Luan, Depay and Bertrand Traoré. That looks and Mariano actually, it looks a pretty formidable front line. They've got Tanguy Ndombele, who talked about a little bit in the last episode, Sergi Dada, Ferland Mendy, Jeremel, Nicolas Ngulu and Rafael and Anthony Lopez as the back line. This team doesn't scare me too much. I think we should be winning this one fairly comfortably. Hopefully Fernando Torres can get himself a couple of goals, as he usually does in the Europa League, so let's crack on. So the two teams walk out then, Lyon in their white kit with the blue and red ribbon across the front, as we kick off and Torres gets us underway, and we play it nicely around the back, and for Willian onto the right hand side, who gives it into Kante. We're going to have a highlight here, back to Zappacosta, no. So I think, if we can get a couple of goals in this first leg, as we've got our first highlight, Ndombele, Luan, Traoré, obviously a former Chelsea player, Bertrand Traoré, Depay through for Mariano, who's quite pacey, former Real Madrid player, Luan, and it's a fine save by Courtois, should have scored, and that would have been an away goal for Lyon. We haven't started particularly well. 20 minutes in then, we've got nothing on target, and we aren't dominating the ball, so I'm going to demand more from the boys, because this doesn't seem to be working really. As Tierney picks it up, as David Luiz, can we create something now? Kurt Zuma, Kante, with a nice ball out for Zappacosta, who holds it up a little bit. He doesn't seem to be going anywhere. As Willian just fires it at him. Done well to control it really. As Zappacosta again. Kante, as Willian gets forward on that side. Can he find somebody? As Loftus-Cheek. That's a nice ball through for Willian. And now Zappacosta on the overlap. Torres! Oh! So still 0-0 then. We finally managed to sort of assert our dominance after demanding a bit more from the boys. As Marseille took a 2-1 lead against Zenit, and Benfica actually 2-1 up against Monaco. So approaching half time and nothing's really happening. I mean, the only thing to note really is that N'Golo Kante's been booked. One chance for us with Torres and one for Lyon with Luan, I think it was. But nothing other than that really to note. We're going to get into the boys at half time and could say that we're not happy with them out there. Willian looks stressed, but I let him look stressed. We're going to get Loftus-Cheek off actually now for Ross Barkley, because he's looking a bit low on condition. So we'll get the second half started as Kano comes on for Memphis Depay as well. So I mean, we haven't created a great deal, neither have Lyon. It's been a fairly even affair. Denis Suarez takes this free kick. Mendy away. Kante, what a goal from N'Golo Kante. Fabulous strike, get in 1-0. That was just a brilliant strike from Kante, not something he's renowned for, but I'll take it. So Denis Suarez flung in the free kick. Ferland Mendy away. Kante picks it up and blasts it through the body of players, and fantastic goal. What more can you say about that, really? So we do now seem to be 60 minutes gone. We do now seem to be asserting a little bit of dominance on the game. Just going to make a couple of substitutions. I think it's not worked for Fernando Torres this game, so we're going to get Tammy Abraham on up front, and we'll make a change for Denis Suarez and get Justin Kluivert on. We are looking a bit nervous, but I'm just happy that we haven't actually conceded away goal for now. Is Traore, Sergi Dada. Traore again. Fires it across, there's Kano, and it's wide. Is it the side net? But that was a chance for Lyon, who we haven't been as dominant as I thought we would be against Lyon, to be honest. As time's ticking away, we just might tell the boys just to concentrate in the last few minutes of the game. We don't want to be losing any stupid away goals. It's 3 minutes added time. Can we see this one out? It'll be a decent 1-0 win, but I would have liked a more comfortable margin, to be honest with you. Here's Justin Kluivert, Jorginho. Be nice to get another goal at the end of this game, but it doesn't look like we're going to. And Zuma heads away. Jeremel up the pitch for Hassim Aouar. Jorginho. Back to Courtois. Up the pitch. Tammy Abraham's underneath it. Can we make something at the end of this game? Abraham. It's out for Kluivert. Can he whip something in? He does. Bit of confusion in the defence there, but Lyon do get it away, and it's a 1-0 win in the end for us. We didn't have, that shot on target ratio is absolutely appalling. We weren't fantastic. We should have won by more goals, really. Not from our play, but just on paper, we should have beat Lyon more comfortably than that. But they do seem like a decent side. And if the main thing is that we didn't concede any away goals, and I would fancy us to score in France. Right then, so that does bring us to the end of the episode. 2 good wins. I would say the Manchester City win was much more crucial than the 1-0 against Lyon. That has put us in a really good position to go on and win the league now, and I think that would be a fantastic achievement in our second season. So, the treble is actually still on. We're going to come back for, obviously, we're going to play this game against Everton off camera, and then we'll come back for the Lyon second leg and the Manchester City FA Cup semi-final. So, the treble is on. Let's see if we can do it. If you could leave me a like, comment or subscribe, I will be most humbled. Thanks again now. Bye bye.